The flashing red and blue lights hit my rearview mirror like a gut punch, turning the empty stretch of I-94 into a crime scene. I gripped the wheel tighter, heart slamming against my ribs, because I knew exactly who was behind me and what this stop could unravel. "Step out of the vehicle, Jonathan." His voice crackled over the speaker, cold as the Michigan winter we'd just escaped. "Or I swear to God, you'll never leave this road alive." I killed the engine, my hands trembling as I unbuckled, the weight of our last fight crashing back. Nathaniel's eyes, wild with betrayal, screaming that I was running away from him. Now here he was, badge gleaming under the squad car's floodlights, gun hand twitching like he meant every word. One wrong move, and the secret we'd buried for 3 years, the one that could torch both our lives, would burn us to ash right there on the shoulder. I stepped out into the chill night air, the gravel crunching under my boots like brittle bones. The highway was a ghost town at 2 a.m., just the hum of distant semis and the wind whipping through the cornfields that flanked the road. Nathaniel's cruiser idled like a predator, its grill a black maw in the dark. He stood silhouetted against it, all 6'2" of him in that starched uniform, the kind that made him look invincible, until you knew the cracks, the way his jaw clenched when he was fighting tears. "Hands where I can see 'em, sir," he barked, but his voice cracked on the sir, a tell only I would catch. I raised my palms slow, like approaching a spooked horse, my mind racing through the lies I'd rehearsed. This wasn't random. He'd tailed me from Kalamazoo, probably clocked my speed at a harmless 72 in a 70 zone. No, this was personal. This was him dragging me back into the mess we'd made. "License and registration," he said, stepping closer, his flashlight beam slicing across my face. Up close, I could smell him, coffee and that cheap aftershave he swore by, the one I'd bought him for his birthday last spring. His eyes, those damn hazel eyes that could melt steel, locked on mine, hard as flint. "You been drinking, Mr. Hale?" "John," I whispered, dropping the formal bullshit. "Come on, Nate. You know I haven't." He flinched at the nickname, like I'd slapped him. "It's Officer Reynolds to you. And I know jack shit anymore, not after you ghosted me without a word." His voice was low, venomous, but there was that undercurrent, the hurt that made my chest ache. We'd been each other's everything since freshman year at Western Michigan. Late-night study sessions turning into first kisses in the dorm laundry room, stolen weekends in his beat-up Ford up to Lake Michigan. He was the golden boy, future cop with a family legacy in blue. I was the artsy queer kid from the wrong side of town, scraping by on scholarships and dreams of making it as a photographer. But dreams have a way of curdling. Last month, after his promotion to detective, everything imploded. I'd found the texts, innocent enough, or so he'd claim, from his ex, some high school flame named Tyler who'd resurfaced with old-time sake bullshit. I'd confronted him, we fought like alley cats, and in the heat, I spilled our biggest secret, the anonymous blog I'd started, Shadows in Blue, chronicling the quiet struggles of gay cops in small-town America. It was cathartic, a way to process the fear we'd both carried, him hiding from his conservative precinct, me from my Bible-thumping folks. But Nate? He saw it as betrayal, me airing our dirty laundry for the world. "I didn't ghost you," I said, voice steady despite the lie. I'd left a note. "I can't breathe here anymore. Don't follow." Packed my Nikon and hit the road toward Chicago, chasing freelance gigs and freedom. I needed space. Space. He laughed, bitter and sharp. "You call screwing my best friend space?" "Derek told me everything. How you two bonded over drinks at the Rusty Anchor last week." His flashlight dipped, but not before I saw the red rims of his eyes. Misunderstanding number 1, barreling toward us like a freight train. Derek was straight as an arrow, just a buddy crashing on my couch after a bad breakup. But in Nate's head, wounded and paranoid, it was proof I was done with him. "Nate, that's not." "Shut up." He holstered the light, hand drifting to his cuffs. "You think you can just waltz out, expose our lives online, then play house with my friends? Step to the car. Now." The order hung heavy, laced with something darker than protocol. His precinct buddies already whispered about that blogger stirring shit. And if he brought me in, even as a fake DUI, it could end him. Internal affairs sniffing around his personal involvement. I complied, wrists out, the cold metal biting as he snapped them on. "This is insane," I muttered, the fight draining out of me. "You're the one who pushed me away, Nate. After Tyler's messages, you swore it was nothing, but I saw the hearts, the miss you crap. How am I supposed to trust that?" He shoved me gently against the cruiser. Close enough I felt his breath hitch. "Tyler's married, John. To a woman. It was closure, nothing more. But you? You didn't even ask. You just ran, like always." His free hand gripped my shoulder, thumb brushing my collarbone. A ghost of affection that twisted the knife. We were magnets, him and me, his stability grounding my chaos, my fire igniting his buried passion. But secrets fester. I'd hidden the blog to protect him. He'd hidden his doubts about coming out, terrified of losing the badge that defined him. The radio crackled, dispatch checking in, and he stepped back, composing himself. "You're detained for erratic driving. Sit tight." He slid me into the back seat, the partition slamming like a guillotine. As the cruiser peeled out, not toward the station but a side road into the woods, I realized this wasn't an arrest. It was a reckoning. We drove in silence, the miles ticking by like heartbeats. Pine trees blurred into shadows, the lake's edge emerging under a sliver of moon. He pulled over at our spot, Echo Point, where we'd carved our initials into a birch tree 2 summers ago, back when love felt invincible. "Get out," he said, softer now, unlocking the door. I stumbled onto the damp earth, cuffs clinking. The air smelled of wet leaves and memory. "What is this, Nate? You gonna dump me in the woods like some bad movie?" He rounded the car, face etched with exhaustion. "Maybe. Or maybe I'm giving you that space you wanted." But he didn't uncuff me. Instead, he leaned against the hood, staring at the water. "Remember the first time here? You sketched me with charcoal, called me your knight in tarnished armor. God, John, I was so gone for you." "I still am," I admitted, the words slipping out raw. "That's why I left. The blog. It wasn't about you. It was me screaming into the void because every day, watching you hide, it killed me. And Tyler was a mistake I never made." He turned, eyes searching mine. "I deleted him the second you showed me. But you didn't believe me. You never do, not fully." The accusation stung, true in its poison. Trust was our Achilles heel. My abandonment issues from a dad who bailed when I was 10 is from a force that drummed queerness out of you young. A twig snapped. Deer, probably, but we both froze, instincts sharp. "Uncuff me," I said. "Let's talk like adults." He hesitated, keys jingling in his pocket. "Do this, or stay here forever." His voice broke, echoing the title of this nightmare. "Admit you're wrong about the blog. Delete it. Swear you'll never run again. Or I walk, and you figure out how to explain this to your folks when they find your car abandoned." It was blackmail wrapped in desperation, the kind only love breeds. My mind whirled. The blog had 5,000 followers, stories from closeted brothers in arms that mirrored ours. Deleting it meant silencing them, and me. But staying? Losing him forever? The dilemma clawed deep, a psychological vice. "I can't just erase it," I whispered. "It's bigger than us now." His face crumpled, a dam breaking. "Then we're done." He tossed the keys at my feet and turned toward the cruiser. Panic surged. "Nate, wait." I lunged, chains rattling, tackling him to the ground in a tangle of limbs and leaves. We rolled, grunting, until I pinned him. Cuffs be damned, our breaths mingling hot and furious. "Get off me," he growled, but his hands clutched my shirt, pulling me closer. "Kiss me," I demanded, reckless. "One last time, and I'll think about it." He did. Fierce, devouring, tasting of salt and regret. It was fire and flood, years of pent-up, everything pouring out. When we broke, foreheads pressed, he murmured, "You changed my life, John. Don't make me end it." But as sirens wailed distant, backup he'd called, protocol. He shoved me off, standing with shattered resolve. Decide by dawn, or stay gone. He drove away, leaving me cuffed to the birch tree, the carved J+N mocking me under the stars. Dawn couldn't come fast enough, or too soon. The night stretched eternal, a black canvas of what-ifs pinned by stars that offered no answers. I tugged at the cuffs, metal biting my wrists raw, the birch bark rough against my back like an accusation. Echo Point wasn't forgiving. The lake lapped greedy at the shore, whispering secrets it had swallowed from better days. I'd proposed here once, not with a ring, too cliché for us, but with a vintage Polaroid of him laughing, mid-splash, the inscription, "Forever starts now." He'd teared up, promised the same. Lies, all of it, crumbling under the weight of fear. My phone was in the car, dead anyway from the long drive. No signal out here, just the occasional owl hoot and the rustle of critters sizing me up as prey. Hours ticked by in agony, mind looping through our history like a fever dream. We met at a WMU tailgate, me nursing a lukewarm beer, sketching the chaos. Him, fresh off academy drills, charming the crowd with that easy grin. "What's a pretty artist like you doing in a dump like this?" he'd teased, and I'd shot back, waiting for a hero to rescue me from boredom. By halftime, we were making out behind the porta-johns, hearts pounding to the cadence of cheers. But heroism has shadows. Nate's family was badge and Bible royalty in Battle Creek. Dad a retired chief, Mom the church organist who quoted Leviticus at dinner. Coming out? Suicide for his career, maybe his life. So we danced the dance, separate lives by day, tangled sheets by night. I built my freelance portfolio on weddings and portraits, hiding my true shots, raw, intimate glimpses of queer joy in stolen moments. He climbed ranks, earning nods for busts on meth labs, all while I watched him swallow barbs from bigots in the locker room. The blog was my rebellion, born from a night he'd come home bruised, not from a fight, but a training mishap after a colleague's slur. "They'll kill me if they know," he'd sobbed into my chest. So I wrote, anonymized tales of brothers in blue, loving in silence, the toll of the closet on souls and sanity. It went viral in queer cop forums, a lifeline for guys like us. Nate found out by accident, saw his own words echoed in a post. "You're doxing me," he'd roared, and the fight escalated, me defending it as advocacy, him as exposure. Then Tyler's texts tipped the scale, my jealousy a match to the powder keg. Now, cuffed and alone, regret not. Was I wrong? The blog had helped. Emails from officers quitting the force, finding peace. But at what cost? Nate's promotion hung by a thread. Rumors of internal leaks could bury him. And Derek? The bonding Nate imagined was me venting over pizza, him straight-laced and clueless. Misunderstanding layered on lie. A house of cards in a gale. A rustle, footsteps? I strained, calling out hoarse. Nothing. Dawn crept gray, painting the lake steel. My arms screamed, circulation gone numb. Then headlights pierced the mist. Not Nate's cruiser, but a pickup rattling down the access road. Shit. Locals? Poachers? The truck stopped, door creaking. "John? That you, man?" Derek's voice, groggy and concerned. Of all the... "Derek? Get over here." Relief flooded, bitter-edged. He jogged up, flashlight app blazing, eyes widening at the cuffs. "What the hell? Nate, do this." He fumbled for the keys I described, unlocking me with shakes. "I woke up to your car gone." Texts from him raging about betrayal. "Thought you two finally imploded." We leaned against the tree, rubbing life back into my wrists. Derek was the bridge, Nate's academy buddy, my reluctant confidant, the only straight guy who'd ever high-fived us post-coming-out toast, to him, anyway. "It's worse," I confessed, spilling the blog, the fight, Tyler's ghost. He listened, nodding slow. "Nate's spiraling, John. Last night at the bar, he downed shots, muttering about losing everything. Said something about making you stay." Derek's face hardened. "This pullover stunt? It's him breaking." I nodded, throat tight. He gave me an ultimatum. Delete the blog, or we're over. Derek whistled low. "Heavy, but you're not wrong for speaking out." "Hell, I read a post. The one about the partner watching his guy fake straight at family barbecues? Hit too close. Changed how I see the job." His words anchored me, a flicker in the storm. "Thanks for coming. How'd you even find me?" "Tracked your phone's last ping before it died. Figured Echo Point was the drama spot." He clapped my shoulder. "Go home. Talk it out before he does something stupid." Home. The word soured. My apartment above the photo lab in Kalamazoo, walls lined with our prints. Nate mid-laugh. Me in his hat, goofy and young. But after last night, it felt like a crime scene. Still, I drove back, Derek tailing to make sure I didn't veer off a bridge. The city woke sluggish, coffee shops steaming against the cold. I parked, ascended the stairs, key turning like a confession. Inside, the place reeked of stale takeout and absence. Nate's jacket hung on the hook, forgotten in the fight, a talisman of what we'd lost. My laptop glowed accusatory on the desk, blog tab open. Fingers hovered. Delete. One click, and poof. Thousands of voices silenced, my catharsis erased. But keeping it. Nate's career, our love, collateral. A knock, sharp, insistent. Heart lurching, I opened to him. Disheveled in civvies, no badge, eyes bloodshot. You came back, he breathed, stepping in uninvited. Couldn't leave you thinking I'd cheated. I shut the door, space between us charged. Derek cleared it up. But the rest? We gotta hash this. He paced, hands raking hair. I overreacted. The pullover, God, John, I was out of my mind. Dispatch covered, said I dropped you at a motel. But if anyone finds out. He trailed, vulnerability cracking his armor. Sit, I said, guiding him to the couch. We sank, knees touching, the proximity a spark. The blog stays. But I'll anonymize more, add disclaimers. It's not about outing you, it's about us, all of us, not dying inside. He searched my face, conflict warring. I want to believe that. But last night, driving away, I pictured you gone forever. My folks would say it's God's judgment. The church would pray me straight. His laugh was hollow. And the job? One whisper, and I'm the punchline. I took his hand, calluses from the range rough against my palm. Then fight for it. With me. The words hung, a pledge or a plea. He pulled me close, forehead to mine. I love you, John. More than the badge, the fear. But if we do this, no more running. Deal. Sealed with a kiss, tender, rebuilding. For a heartbeat, it felt mended. Then my phone buzzed. Anonymous email, subject, your cop's secret. Attached, screenshots of Nate's old texts to Tyler, twisted out of context, captioned hero or hypocrite. Below, a threat. Delete the blog, or this goes public. Betrayal's shadow loomed anew. Who? Tyler? A precinct rat? The real storm was just breaking. We stared, horror dawning. Nate's face drained white. This is it. They're coming for us. The email sat like a live wire, humming with malice. I forwarded it to spam, but the damage etched deep. Trust, fragile as frost, cracking under the boot of exposure. Nate slumped, head in hands. The man who'd faced down armed dealers now felled by pixels. How? Who the hell has this? I scrolled the sender. Ghost mail at Proton. Untraceable. Could be anyone. Tyler's got motive. Maybe he screenshotted for leverage. Jealousy twisted my gut. Even closure felt tainted now. Nate's eyes flashed. I told you it was nothing. Ancient history. But doubt crept in, his defensiveness a red flag. We'd promised no running, but secrets? They were the roots tangling us. Let's trace it, I said, practical mask slipping on. My photo lab had software for metadata, but this was digital forensics, Nate's wheelhouse. He straightened, detective mode kicking in, pulling his laptop from the bag he'd dropped. IP's masked, but the attachment. Timestamps match last month. His fingers flew, cross-referencing with precinct logs. Wait, access from the station server. Someone internal. The room tilted. Betrayal, not external, but from the Blue Brotherhood he'd sworn to protect. Who hates you that much? I asked, though I knew. Sergeant Harlan, the old guard bull who'd cornered Nate after a suspicious bar sighting. Us, leaving the anchor hand in brush. Harlan, Nate muttered, confirming. He's been gunning for my spot since the promo. Thinks I'm soft on perps. Code for suspecting the unspoken. Harlan's rants echoed precinct lore. Fags don't belong in uniform. We pieced it. Harlan hacking the blog's IP. I'd been careless, posting from home Wi-Fi, mining for dirt. The Tyler texts? Bait he'd planted, or coincidence twisted. Either way, it was war, personal, vicious, the kind that shreds souls in small-town America, where gossip is gospel. I confront him. Nate growled, slamming the laptop. End this now. No. I grabbed his arm, pulse racing under my fingers. You go in hot. He spins it. Says you're unstable, covering for a boyfriend. The word hung, first time spoken aloud in daylight. Boyfriend. Simple, seismic. He deflated, reality's weight bowing him. Then what? Hide forever? That's not life, John. It's survival. I pulled him up, pacing the cramped living room. Prints of our happier frames mocking from walls. We go public on our terms. I post the truth, expose the blackmail, call out the bigots without names. Force the department's hand. His laugh barked sharp. You think that'll fly? IA investigates me first. Conflict of interest with the blogger. Fear laced his words. Raw psychological strip. The boy who joined the force to honor his dad, now staring down erasure. I cupped his face, thumbs tracing jawline stubble. Or we run. Chicago's got queer-friendly PDs, galleries hungry for your story through my lens. Together? His eyes searched, vulnerable as a kid's. Together. The promise sealed with a hug, bodies aligning like puzzle pieces worn smooth. But decisions now. That afternoon, Nate headed to shift, act normal, while I holed up, drafting the post. Words bled. Our love, the closet's chokehold, Harlan's shadow as metaphor for systemic rot. It was cathartic, terrifying. Hitting publish meant no takebacks. A call shattered focus. Mom, voice syrup sweet from Battle Creek. Johnny, honey, your aunt saw you on the news. Speeding ticket? Everything okay? Gossip's fine. Fine, Ma. Just a mix-up. Lies soured my tongue. She'd disown my uncle for that lifestyle, though she'd never say it plain. Come home for dinner. Bring that nice police friend, Nathaniel. Such a catch. Irony stabbed. She knew him as the straight arrow buddy, blind to the nights he'd slept over, us tangled silent to avoid creaks. Can't. Work. Click. Guilt coiled, coming out to her. A bridge I'd torch later. Evening fell. Nate bursting in post-shift, face thunderous. Harlan cornered me. Heard you're keeping bad company, Reynolds. Grinned like the devil. He paced, fury boiling. I played dumb, but he's close. Found this in my locker. He tossed a printout. Blog screenshot. Highlighted line about partners faking normalcy at barbecues. My words weaponized. Panic crested. We post now. Tonight. He nodded, grim. We huddled over the screen, his hand on my knee steadying. Publish. The hit counter ticked. 100 views, 500, shares rippling like aftershocks. By midnight, comments flooded. Support from allies. Finally, truth. Vitriol from trolls. Resign, fairy. Then the call. Captain Ellis. Nate CO. Voice steal. My office. Dawn. Both of you. We crashed together, sleep elusive, bodies spooned against the storm. I love you. He whispered into my neck, a lifeline. Dawn broke bloody, us rolling into the station in my Civic, neutral ground. The precinct buzzed subdued, eyes darting. Harlan lounged at his desk, smirking as we passed. Ellis's office was a time capsule, faded commendations, coffee stale as grudges. Sit. Ellis, grizzled vet with a mustache like steel wool, eyed us. This blog. It's yours, Hale? I owned it. Yes, sir. And it's advocacy, not attack. He slid the printout across. Harlan claims it's harassment. Says it targets him. Bull. Nate exploded. He's the one blackmailing. Emails, threats. Ellis leaned back, temple rubbing. Proof. We laid it out. Forwards, timestamps. Harlan's bluff crumbled as Ellis cross-checked logs. Busted. You're suspended, Reynolds. Pending review. Hale. Stay out of our hair. Outside. Harlan waited. Cuffed already, spitting venom. You'll burn for this, lovers. The slur landed like acid. Nate lunged. I yanked him back. Not worth it. But as we fled, sirens wailing for Harlan's transport, triumph soured. Nate's suspension, unpaid, indefinite. What now? He asked, voice hollow in the parking lot. We fight, I said. Together. Yet doubt festered. That night, alone while he packed a go bag, just in case, I found the hidden folder on his phone. More Tyler texts, recent, flirty. Miss our talks. Drink soon. Heart shattered. Misunderstanding metastasized. Betrayal, real this time? Or bait from Harlan? Confrontation brewed. Climax coiling tight. The folder mocked me from the screen. Texts time-stamped post-fight. After he'd sworn deletion. Can't stop thinking about you, Tyler wrote. Nate's reply. Same. Complicated here. Complicated. Code for us, or excuse. I slammed the laptop, chest heaving, the apartment closing in like a vice. Weed-bared souls, face down Harlan, And this? A knife in the ribs, twisting with every what-if. Was our reconciliation a lie? Him hedging bets while I burned bridges? Psychological whiplash. Love's high crashing to betrayal's pit, evoking that raw fury, the kind that makes you want to scream at the sky, then curl fetal in empathy for the fool who trusted. Nate returned at dusk, takeout bags swinging, face alight with fragile hope. Ty, your favorite. Figured we celebrate surviving. He kissed my temple, oblivious, unpacking pad CEW like it was normalcy. I couldn't breathe. Who's complicating things, Nate? He froze, fork midway. What? I shoved the phone at him, text glaring. His color drained, eyes widening in horror. John, no, this is. Save it. Voice steel, but cracking. While I was drafting our manifesto, you were sexting your ex. After everything. It's not sexting. He snatched the device, scrolling frantic. Harlan. He must have. God. After the locker note, he accessed my cloud. Planted these to fracture us. Plausible, but poison seeped. Why's your password still Tyler88? Birthday bullshit. He winced, guilty. Habit. I changed it last month, but. Cloud lagged. Hands raked hair, desperation etching lines. Believe me. Please. I wanted to. God. The empathy warred with rage, his earnest eyes pleading like a kicked dog. But trust? Shattered mosaic, sharp edges cutting deep. I need air. I grabbed keys, bolting into the night, streets slick with rain mirroring my blur. Kalamazoo blurred, neon dives, college kids laughing oblivious. I ended at the Anchor, our haunt, sliding into a booth with whiskey neat. Derek found me, texted location, the fool, sliding in opposite. Rough day. I spilled, voice slurring edges. He's lying. Or Harlan is. Either way, I'm done. Derek sipped beer, steady. Nah, Nate's solid. Remember prom night? He decked a guy for calling me a slur. Straight ally through and through. This. Panic move by a cornered bigot. Empathy tugged, but fury held. What if it's both? Him weak, reaching for easy. Then you fight smarter. Derek's grin wry. Or run again. But you won't. Hours later, buzzed and broken, I cabbed home. Apartment dark, Nate's silhouette on the fire escape. Smoking, a vice he'd quit for me. Went to your folks, he said, voice raw. Told them. Everything. About us. Shock shorted me. You what? Couldn't lose you without truth. He turned, tear-streaked. Ma cried, Dad silent. Said pray on it. But I did it for us. The gesture gutted me, his courage the counter to my doubt. Nate. Forgive me, or end it clean. Ultimatum reversed, his eyes begging. I crossed the threshold, pulling him inside. We in the secrets. All of them. We talked till dawn, vulnerabilities flayed, his fear of abandonment mirroring mine, the closet's scars. No more folders, no half-truths. The blog? We'd co-author, his voice added, turning pain to power. But climax crested unexpected. Morning brought feds. No, IA raid. Harlan, raging in lockup, had flipped, alleged departmental cover-up of queer discrimination, naming names. Our post. Catalyst, rippling national. CNN pickup, headline screaming, cop's lover exposes blue closet. Nate's suspension lifted provisional. Interviews flooded. We faced it side by side. Press gauntlet, family dinners awkward but thawing, mom's pie, tentative hugs. Tyler, confronted, confessed Harlan's coercion, extortion for silence. Months blurred. Nate transferred to Ann Arbor PD, queer inclusive, my blog book deal bound. Shadows no more. We moved lakeside, that dock our anchor, sunsets sealing vows. Yet humanism tempers, not fairy tale, but forged. Scars linger, therapy Tuesdays, trust rebuilt brick by brick. One night, under those same stars, I traced his badge tattoo, faded but proud. You changed my life, I whispered. He smiled, hand in mine. We changed each other's. Forever. No perfection, just persistence. Love's quiet revolution in America's heartland, where dawn follows even the darkest pullover.